welcome back to my channel. I'm BL. I wanted to talk about post-genderism today. Maybe you don't know what post-genderism is, but it's kind of like a gender or abolitionist theory. Here are just a few of the books that I wanted to talk about today. I guess I'll start with the worst possible. So, this is the least favorite book I've read in recent years. I've bought it 3 times as well, so I'm particularly frustrated with this book, and it's kind of... that was Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis. Don't listen to the audiobook, for God's sake. Don't do it. I think it's unethical to hire someone you know to be a trans woman to play the father in your self-insert, like really oblivious to what non-gender and post-genderism would look like kind of fanfic. It's really unfortunate because, like, I actually enjoyed the writing of, what was that, like, Awoken or whatever, which was like the Twilight, but whatever, she wrote it under like a ghost name too. But yeah, I don't know, it's crazy because I'm pretty sure like all of her fans are pretty much similar to me in that they're basically homeless. So she's really good at getting people who have no money to spend money on her. Go her. Oh, JK, my Glucose Guardian totally bought me at least one of those copies. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some other better fiction, perhaps. Oh, and I'm downstairs today, so that means that I don't have a 5-minute shooting, like, limit because it's, well, it is still hot as balls, and it's several hours until it's quiet hours. Oh, technically I shouldn't have dropped a book on the floor. I'm being informed because it is 6 minutes until it's allowed to make noise time here. But I kind of wanted to start early because it's like hot, and I'm moderately depressed, perturbed. I'm having a very dysphoric day. I don't know if you can tell. The stubble is real, is strong with this one. No, I haven't taken a shower. It's not gonna happen. Maybe it'll happen after this video. We'll see. Oh yeah, so it's so cute and fun that you don't let me play Cyberpunk 2077. I know that you're preventing me from doing it, and this is like an individual issue that should have never been brought to the support team at Steam. But yeah, it's so cute and fun that you personally don't let me play this game that I don't particularly like. Now I just want it more, because I'm a bit of a... and it's like, that's how my personality type works. So like when I know that you're doing something to like prevent me from having something I only moderately wanted, I want it a lot more now. But yeah, let's talk about something a lot more fun, such as like books. I personally prefer physical books, like if I'm gonna be actually reading, if I'm consuming the literature, I actually like, I either want text to speech or like an audiobook, but depending on the person, like, cause when you get an audiobook, you get the person's performance, you get the person who's reading it, they get all these like intentions and stuff in the book that's just like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like they read like things into it that I just don't feel are there. Crap. Okay, well, I did the intro thing. I'm gonna go grab my my walk, and I'm gonna stop this. And since I'm going to be doing editing, it'll be seamless. There'll be a thing, and then I'll be right back. So I got DDoSed again. I just went and reset my network. That's what I've been doing, but it's weird because from like the Firefox browser, it shows like an unknown error message for like why the connection isn't going through. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think I was often getting like a 500 error on a lot of the other ones. But yeah, I'm not. It's likely the same attacker, but. So I tried uninstalling Cyberpunk 2077 and reinstalling it, and it's still not working, specifically the sound. The game itself seems to be working okay, I think, but the sound is not working. I think I may have to, like, I don't know, it's weird. I can kind of hear it there, but I can't really hear it.
Yeah, so theoretically, that was just some clips of me being frustrated, not able to play the game Cyberpunk 2077. I already got the extra sections with Judy, so like I pretty much got all I wanted out of the game. I think I did it so that all of the things that I have left on that game, anyways, are like ambushes. Um, so it's frustrating. I keep like looking at like the viewfinder of myself instead of the camera because last time I had the camera app running and I wasn't looking directly at it. It was stopped when I was still doing stuff, and since I do the script afterwards. I do the, oh, just in case you were wondering, this is done like reality TV style, where I have like a general thing that I want to get to, but I don't have the direct path there, and then I use editing to kind of shape what I have once it's there. It Yeah, I've done some. I haven't. Um, how do I explain this? I've done some PA work, but it's not on anything that you would have seen. Um, yeah, really independent stuff, if you know what I'm saying. But back to my kind of books. So I want to talk. The first two um, are okay. So the first one, I haven't actually read this all the way, but I wanted to bring. Yeah, I know that it's concerning. I really need to make time for that. Um, Are You Lonesome Tonight? This is by Poppy Z. Bright. He's a trans man. I think he has like an animal sanctuary now. I'm like mid key jealous. But he's a like was a model and like transitioned after having a career as a model, which is a little bit similar to me, but kind of they like I can relate. So I enjoy their stuff. It's a little let's see. It's like bizarro fiction, so it gets really gross sometimes, or like bizarre, weird, intense. Like it can't. I have to be in the right place to read it, and I'm at a pretty high pain level today. So like reading stuff that has like eldritch horror feels okay. Um, Oh, by the way, I tried to watch Cam as a recommend. Okay, so not just me, me and my mistress, aka my cyber stalker, aka I can't tell you who it is even because I haven't been able to prove it. That's why. I know who it is, but I can't prove it, and it drives me. It's like it's really next level mind games. So like I hope other people get to experience this someday because anyways, uh they, which this is they in the gender neutral when the person is hypothetical or like you don't know what the gender is, not to gender neutralize the individual non-consensually, because that's what we do in English when we don't know the gender of a specific person, like a suspect in a cybercrime. You said they because that would be how you would refer to a person whose gender is unknown. Um, but I use my friend's Netflix account and they spoofed my machine and tried to watch Cam, and I was like, and they got too scared, and I think they actually woke me up to console them because it was too scary for them. So I tried to watch it, and it was also too scary for me. And it's funny because I'm kind of like a lifestyler, so you would think that I would be into something that was like trying to portray that feeling, but honestly, I get better feels from like Cashback. Check that one out. It's a little voyeuristic. I've had people say that it's too objectifying, and it's like, okay, maybe. Yeah, short stories, Poppy Z Bright. I just wanted to bring him up as an author because I can't think of any other authors who are trans men, who are like openly trans men, I if you know of any, let me know in the comments. No, I'm not going to Google it. It's not going to happen. I have like a pretty strict tolerance for only using Google when necessary because here's the deal. I'm an avid Faboozer. That would be a Facebook user. I try to use Twitter occasionally. I've come back. I got a new screen name. I changed the screen name on this channel because I don't want to be associated with that fascist group anymore. And uh, yeah, I'm an avid Faboozer, and I've worked with Facebook to kind of make my life a little bit more tolerable, even if I like skeet and yeet my total profile, if I like completely like dismantle it, tear it apart, like mess it up, I can make a new one and I get pretty much the exact same content. So either someone is directly manipulating profiles that they know to be mine, or their algorithm is much better than anything else I've used. I've been an avid Google user. So here's the thing. I guess we've got two different ways of looking at this. We have one way of looking at this where that like we give Facebook all this like freaking information and they're able to paint like a pretty decent picture about you. Like, I have never told anyone that I want my own cosmetics company, but like right around my birthday, I'm starting to get all these ads on Facebook and Instagram for like white labeling, like skincare, cosmetics, that sort of stuff. I've now posted some videos on YouTube that may imply that further to Google, but I've actually spent years of doing pretty extensive research on using Google, using accounts that I'm signed in on, and I rarely get ads for things like white label cosmetics, different like labs either in the US or like, you know, uh bulk cosmetic size containers, or like yeah, so like I feel like there's like a few different ways of looking at this. One, I was thinking like, wow, Google's algorithm really sucks. And the other I was looking at is that their algorithm doesn't really suck. They just don't like sneak on my like email and shit the way that like Facebook does. I have like one confidant. I've been doing kind of an experiment with social isolation, and I don't talk to people. I don't use Messenger. I would love to talk to people more. I stopped doing it when an abuser I had kind of would stop me every time I was sending messages and being like, "Who are you talking to? What are you talking to? What are you talking about?" And it's like, yeah, yeah. So I don't do that anymore because that was like a really traumatic experience that kept happening. And I was in like a pretty long term relationship with this person, so um, yeah. But back to like more interesting stuff. What I was really talking about with, oh yeah, algorithms, machine learning. Oh, ooh, right. So what I'm saying is like, wow, I had a really awful interview with some. I like. I decided to go like full anarchist kind of after this. I had like a really bad, so like interviewing at Google is like a 15-step process. It's like more complex than the most complex like Korean skincare routine I've ever seen. Um, I had like a really bad experience with this person named Patrick. Um, I'm going to say they because I did not ask them what their pronouns were, nor did I tell them that I used they them pronouns because they did not make me feel safe to divulge that information. Um, yeah, I had like a really bad interview with them. It was it was the meet and greet where you're supposed to like meet with an SRE, and it's really frustrating because this person who's like a career SRE, they're like we talked about like NetHack, we talked about like audio stuff. They had like a really cool like separate from their computer like audio mixing thing on their desk. They seemed really cool, but the vibe I got from them was super creepy and like it felt like it's like I don't know how to describe it other than it felt like date rape. And it feels fucked up to say that about a job interview, but it also like it this interview made me think that like technology isn't a place for me. Um, they kept me like 2.5 times longer than they said that the interview was scheduled for. They kind of didn't really leave space for me to like ask questions or anything. They kind of just like spoke over me consistently and didn't really listen to anything that I wanted to talk about. It was frustrating because like as someone with like not really a background in I've been called a script kiddie and that's fine. I don't care. It feels a little sexist, but like I'm a hacker, not a programmer. I didn't go to computer engineering school. I went to audio engineering school specifically. I can do programming, but I'm not a professional programmer. So like me talking with someone who's like a career SRE seems to be like really like that's perfect. But like after this meeting, it made me be like, wow, maybe everybody on YouTube is right. This place is just kind of full of like disgusting, shady people. And it's like, yeah, I've met like a few there, including a woman that I went on a date with. The reason why I said there are no ladies that I've met at Google was not to degender her. Fine, I'll leave it. She was not a lady and she continued to ask me to kiss her even though I said no. I didn't say no because I didn't want to kiss her. I have extreme nerve pain on the side of my face and it makes kissing to be like, it's not just like a oh, this I'll do this on a date. But like, yeah, it's excruciatingly painful and something that I only share with people who that I would be really really comfortable doing that with. I wanted to talk about like post-genderism and today, but now it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Anyways, stop. You stop. Um, if you don't want me recording this, you can always like take the videos like you did for the previous one. Yeah. So it was very like, Alphabet's evil. I can't work with them. They're like undesirables because they also implement a caste system that they're trying to implement throughout the Bay Area. And like, I don't like that. I don't really see the other Fang doing that as much. There's like way different other things. Oh yeah, so I used to work, one of the reasons I've been doing this was because I want my likeness removed from this like propaganda that I was in, like corporate propaganda. And I'm hoping if I'm like problematic enough in public, they'll like stop using my likeness to recruit people because you can't like if I'm enough of a drag clown, they can't use my likeness to hire people to hire at risk people, and I don't want the like Do I want more trans people to be hired? Yes, but I don't want to be hired into abusive companies that are now also owned by Amazon. So cheers to that. Oh, by the way, if you get seen at One Medical, maybe consider that your medical records are now owned by Amazon, and good luck with that. Like, have fun. Sounds fun, right? Anyways, the lacrimal essence that is Diet Coke is my favorite. I used to like Coke Zero, but then they changed the formula, and I had to switch over to like Diet Coke, and that was an adjustment. I just grabbed this one by Francesca Leibblog, not because it's very post-gender. Her stuff a little bit more has to do with like general queerness and kind of honestly, I think it tackles queer identity from a het girl's perspective better than anything by Lindsay Ellis. This isn't just me reading her for filth, it's just like I have a hard time not believing that she's a TERF based on her like behavior. And it's okay if you have these feelings, deconstruct them or don't be a figure in public. But I grew up with this one specifically and not like Weed Bad or the Hangman because like oh, where is Girl Goddess number 9? That one's the one that I want. Yes, it was already down here all along. Girl Goddess number 9. It's got well, I mean, all the short stories in here are really delightful, but it has one that's specifically about a girl trying to she is or it's a girl or it's there's a kid who has lesbian moms and is trying to figure out who her dad is, and it turns out that one of her moms is transgender, and that's why she doesn't know who her birth father is because she already knows both of her birth parents. But it's kind of this like adventure journey that the like kid goes and like runs away to try to find out. Like yeah, and I just thought it was like really so like this came out. And sorry, I'm looking for the copyright. Looks like 1996. So this is teen fiction with trans lesbians in it from 1996. Just I highly recommend this book. I other people have said that some of her portrayals are like kind of problematic. I haven't read all of her work. I was a huge fan of Dangerous Angels when I was in high school. I just showed you I was a teenage fairy. I've done a bunch of her other fiction. Most of it's kind of like light and fun, and kind of like I would say like a casual-ish. I don't know. It's kind of like romantic a lot of the times. Cherokee Bat and the Goat Guys, Witch Baby, Missing Angel Wand. Those are all from the like Dangerous Angels. But yeah, Girl Goddess number 9 is probably my favorite. Francesca Leah Block favorite. Yeah, I don't know of any earlier examples of trans lesbians in teen fiction, but if you can think of any, let me know in the comments. Um, Gosh, yeah, I'm so sorry why I mean, yeah. A lot of her other books have things like kind of, I guess at the time they were called like blended families, but like kind of like polyqueer families that have kids together and stuff. There's even like talk about getting like tested for HIV and stuff about like, oh, we all wanted to have kids together, so we got tested, and it's like, I don't know. It's just so amazing. I don't see that in much modern fiction, and it makes me, yeah, it's concerning. Um, Yeah, oh man, speaking of getting tested, so I went and got my blood drawn. I don't know if you can still see, this was about 2 weeks ago now. I've still got a nice, I'm not mad at the phlebotomist. They asked her to come in from her break. Um, but it, Russ' job definitely hit an artery, which messes with the tests. And also, I was not my doctor. I saw an MD. I think they're whatever you call it when you're a scrub, like in Scrubs. I'm sure you've seen that show, um, where they're doing their. It's not a sabbatical. It's like the opposite of that. It's like training in the hospital thing. That he was a doctor and he said that he ordered an HIV test, and he did not. I also had a visible, I mean, so this is a heat rash. You can't really see it, and that's really nice. That makes me very happy because in person it's very visible. I get kind of like heat rash during the summer, but he didn't ask me about monkeypox. He also didn't order my HIV blood test, which, and they did test me for hepatitis C, which is also like, why the fuck you test me for hepatitis C and not order an HIV test? Why the fuck you test me for HIV? And like, do you not know where the fuck you are? I should have also been tested for syphilis given that I'm in the MSM category, as I've stated previously. They said my levels were fine, which is frustrating because, as you can see, I'm a bright fucking red. Also, I've been having nosebleeds, which is usually kind of an indicator that my like levels are kind of high. But they said that they're fine, and they said that it was a good thing that I'd stopped being on hormones. And it's like, wow, you better be glad this is a medical facility because I'm throwing hands. You say that to me anywhere else. Um, Moving on to our next book. Um, this one is so. This is from when I got it signed by the author. I'm not going to show you that because it has my name, and if you want my name, you have to actually go to my website and look for it. Or you can call me VPL, VPL or GTFO. But yeah, this is by Charles Stross. It's called Saturn's Children. Please excuse the cover. It's. I think it takes away from the story a bit. I enjoyed this. It's kind of so it's like a post-human sort of thing. It's got a sex robot who I think she gets pregnant or something, and the pink police come after her, and there's a whole thing where I don't know, she fucks hell, and it's just like, I honestly, please, more romances that have things like that in it. It's like, I guess I have to explain what I just said there because that probably doesn't make sense if you haven't read this book. But there are no humans. They occasionally, it's like a very post-human society. It's like people haven't interacted with them. Apparently there's some movement to bring back biologicals, but it's like super frowned upon. Anyways, so about that, she fucks hell, and I think it was like one of my favorite like scenes in it. There's a lot of weird sex stuff because it's like robots having sex for recreation, and they're all like post-human. There are like chibis, which are like small size because so in this book, there's intergalactic. It's called Saturn's Children, so it's like within the solar system. I think in this book, they're trying to get out of it. But oh crap! I have another book I need to talk about. Um, this one pairs well with the other book that I'm gonna go grab in just a minute. Uh, well, now I just want to reread this one. Because so here's the thing, I really like romance. I really like romance. But other than like Chuck Tingle. I have a couple of his books. I'll grab those in a minute too. I can't really think of anyone who like does interesting sex scenes justice in fiction. This Charles Stross one being kind of an exception. His other literature very fun, very great. Really check out his stuff. It's good. I got to meet him. Signed the book, obviously. He was still writing that one about the I think it got published now, but he had a trip to Pearl Land, which is like the Hello Kitty amusement park thing in Japan, and it's on my list of things to do if I ever get to go back to Japan. But yeah, this was fun in dealing with, like, there's like the main character who's on the cover or whatever. She's a sex robot and there are no more humans to serve, so she's kind of seen as this like weird outdated model that doesn't fit into society. But people still, like, I guess not people, robots still want to have sex with her, and kind of like talk to her while doing it. And that's not as fun, but there's the part where she fucks. It's not like, I trying to explain how to explain that she has sex with the hotel. Like, the hotel, the building, the hotel is a sentient entity, and then she has sex with the. Read the book. So, yeah, I guess I'll go over these other ones here, and then I'll get the. No. I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna get the other two books, and then I'm gonna go over the other books I have here. Is that what you took when you broke in here? My copy of The Cage of Zeus? I can't find it anywhere. It's not in my library. Well, it pairs nicely with Saturn's Children, but I don't really have the copy to flip through to kind of review right now. But it's post-gender thing there on a space station that's orbiting one of the moons of Jupiter. There are these genetically created human-based life forms that are designed to stand the pressure of space better, and they're called the Rounds. It's a whole, like, the origin of love sort of thing, but I didn't like the ending of that one, because from what I remember, one of the, like, post-Rounds who transitioned to be, like, binary, gendered, regular, non-space human was the terrorist in the end. Oh, sorry, spoilers. That is, if I'm remembering it correctly. I don't have the physical copy, so I can't tell you if I'm remembering it correctly, and I could not be more upset that you took that from me. Yeah, it's really frustrating. I mean, like, I'd rather have, like, a one-on-one sort of relationship with you, not the one where you're breaking and entering into my home and rearranging my stuff, and taking, like, a single item and to see if I can guess what it was. Because guess what? That's not fun for me, and that's part of why I don't leave the house. Anyways, there's a couple other examples of kind of bizarro gender fiction. I feel a little bit wrong for even, like, recommending these, not because of the cool controversy, like, weird story about them, because the actual content is, like, I was gonna say bordering on repulsive, but it's definitely repulsive. But if you've heard the song Cherry Lips by Garbage, it's based on this novella. I recommend, it depends. So I guess spoilers, it deals with a lot of, like, sexual abuse and, like, kind of, like, gross content. when I read it, it was still seen as a fictional telling of things that actually happened to a person. But as it turns out, that these were fictionalized things by like G.T. Leroy is like a character, and like these things in this story didn't actually happen to the author. Could they have happened at all? I don't know. But yeah, they made a movie into The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. It's got like Courtney Love. It's got those kids from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Oh, I guess they're older now and in other stuff. There was a perfume that came out with it and stuff too. I don't know. It was a big deal when I was still I guess you call like that type of person an art now or something. But if you can stomach it, Sarah. If you can't, don't check out The Heart is Deceitful. Oh yeah, I think Marilyn Manson was in that also. I don't know, it's kind of gross. I guess probably what would go well with that movie, though, is probably Mysterious Skin, the one by Greg Araki, if you've seen it. Super gross, though, and it's about, like, sexual assault and being molested and how your mind kind of, like, gets fractured in certain ways, and there's this whole crossover about like believing in aliens and being a survivor of sexual assault, and I don't know, just kind of showing you some of the medium I like. I had kind of a story that I wanted to stick to, but now that I've found out that my parasocial mistress stole a very significant book of mine, I'm a little frustrated. But let's lighten things up here. As far as other authors who I think write really good sex scenes, or just in general kind of romance. Oh, this is the one I should be promoting. I mean, so I've it's an HP parody that has a trans girl as the lead, but I think she's like straight or something, and so I didn't finish it. But it's really well written. Dinosaurs. I don't know. I don't like straight stuff. Grosses me out. I have 3 of his Choose Your Own Adventure. You took Invisible Monsters. You took Invisible Monsters? Why would you do that? Invisible Monsters is a novel by Chuck Palahniuk. Okay, so that's at least 2 books that are missing from my collection. I do not keep them on Biblio or whatever collector books website. I don't have one of those. I just have a library upstairs. It's usually where I shoot, except for it's too hot to do that today. I'm livid. I didn't brush my teeth this morning. No, I did not. Okay, so that's 2 books, and then now you're preventing me from playing Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, I don't have the ability to defend against this APT, and there's nothing, like, I can't just be like, oh, there's someone cyber stalking me, and it's, like, really frustrating, because I know who it is, I know where they live. They have a massive budget, though, and also they can get their company to pay for like pretty much all of the things that they would need to do this to me. But yeah, it's just fun stuff for like millionaires during the like. I am not going to say late. Every time you say late stage capitalism gets a little later. But yeah, Chuck Tingle. Excellent romance. the things that I actually wanted to talk about today are Martine Roseblatt, Apartheid of Sex. Have you read this? Maybe you should. You will hate it. You will hate it with a fiery passion. It's I am mid-key obsessed with Martine Rosenblatt, like Rothblatt. Get their name correctly. They're like a post-genderist. They invented radio on the internet. They invented satellite radio against the FCC's requests. They used, yeah, that is alarming. But they used capital and capitalism to get what they wanted, which was radio on the internet. And I can see why the character that mentions that on Silicon Valley was portrayed the way they were, and not in a respectful manner of an actual trans woman who invented radio on the internet. People think you're a douche. I mean, people think I'm a douche, but I'm also not a public trans woman. But yeah, The Apartheid of Sex, read it. It's like an essay. It's like a post-gender sort of thing. She runs the Terrorism Foundation, which, oh yeah, back to the whole thing about like algorithms and getting to know you and like getting to know you. It's really frustrating because I always want to like burst out into song, but like due to copyright stuff, I can't do it. So a lot of times I try to like really like cram that part of me down, and it hurts. So yeah, that's why I've kind of invented Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, not legally a doctor. Anyways, read this if you can find a copy of it. I think you can find some PDFs online, but if you can get the hardcover. I think they reprinted it. It might have had like a slightly different name. But yeah, she runs the Terrorism Foundation, which I don't know if you're familiar with Social Robots, but she made Bina 48, which is like a clone of her wife, but it's like a full robot, and it's like a social robot that you can like talk to and stuff. But yeah, I was using their thing for a while that was like, it's like a chatbot that like learns to be you over time by you talking to it. And yeah, I haven't used it in a while because I used to be able to use it on this like iPad that my grandma gave me, and then it stopped, like either something, I don't remember what happened, but I stopped having access to the iPad. It either broke or someone stole it or whatever. But it is no longer in my possession anyway, and not that I'm accusing someone else of stealing it. It's more that I don't have the like ready, easy access to do that on the go, of like chat at myself. But I've tried a bunch of other like chat bots, like Replica, and then there's like a few other ones, and they just kind of, they suck. They suck, and oh, I guess hers is like a nonprofit sort of thing, and if you donate, oh man, it's so cool. It's like, sorry. I think it's so cool because it's like if you donate, you can it's like such a troll thing, and I don't understand why more people, like so many people are giving it like honest press, when it's like, if you want to become a member, you can donate you have to like donate some money. In addition, your DNA, they'll like send you a swab thing to sample yourself. Which the funny thing I think is about swab DNA tests that aren't done under like video surveillance, especially if they're done in the mail, is you have no way to confirm who actually took that swab. So I guess technically, you could make a donation of like, I think it was like $300 last time I checked, to them, and you could have your DNA be archived for when their like algorithm gets like complicated enough that they can like clone you and like put the like personality that you've worked on into your clone. And I really wanted to do that, but I don't have $300. So if anyone wants to like support me in doing that, please. My birthday's coming up. But yeah, mid-key obsessed with her. She's like kind of a freak. Like, um, uh, in like a good way. I feel like me saying this is like I don't know. All the coverage I see of her is just kind of like normie straight news coverage, and I was like, oh my god, she's like the queerest motherfucker I've ever heard of. She like invented satellite radio and like has this whole like oh it's so provocative. Like you will not be happy if you read the first page. Like you'll be you if you're not like actively upset, then this work wasn't for you. It's kind of the whole point is it's a bit trolly, but to be clear, I'm not going to read this out loud because it has words that I'm not comfortable saying out loud. But she's a trans woman, a Jewish trans woman who's in a relationship with a black woman. They've been married for several years. In fact, I believe that they got married prior to her transition, and then she transitioned. And yeah, I'm just like mid-key obsessed with her because this is like it's like everything I want in like post-genderism. And it's funny because I feel like oh it has my favorite thing that it has in here. It has a lot of like bullshit. Like there's a bunch of like great stuff that's just like stupid. Like there's a whole thing with like colors that doesn't really make sense, and then there's like um oh, the gender neutral way that you're supposed to refer to husband or wife is spice, and that just like, it makes me so happy. Anyways, it's definitely worth reading. It ought to make you feel like angry, upset, frustrated. But it's written to be like extremely provocative. Like that's kind of the point. Her other stuff is good too, but like this is my favorite. Like, um, I I feel like if I say that it's my favorite book of all time, then that's wrong. But it just like it meets these corners of like so bizarre it's hard to take seriously and like obvious trolling, but also being like I don't know, really important as far as like I think it's an incredibly important piece. I used to be a gender abolitionist, a post-genderist. I used to say to guys I was trying to have sex with, I think we've really moved past the need for gender, and it's like it's crazy because these are guys that line worked on, but then they're like insisting like not to use a condom, and it's like, ew. This is why I won't fuck anyone who's been to Harvard or MIT because they're like stealthers and not in the trans way. Yeah. Anyways, that's a story for another day. I had a middle book in between my Apartheid of Sex and the other post-gender book that I wanted to talk about. Because I am a cybernetics feminist. I can't believe I'm calling myself a feminist, but I am. This is my gender workbook by Kate Bornstein. Check it out. This was more of just like a kind of like I was talking about like post-genderism and like gender and how we see it in fiction and stuff. It's a workbook. You fill it out. It's like interactive. It's not it's not perfect. Wow. And then like there's all this like new gender crap that I don't respect and have like no association with, and I get it. That's fine. You want to say that I'm not trans or not a real trans person or all this like I don't care. I do not care. I have been openly non-binary for 15 years. You can't force me to use your neo-pronouns. Fight me about it. Like seriously, catch me in the street if you want to fight about it because I will knock you out. Yeah. But that's just because I've been kind of beaten consistently by other people, mostly for just kind of being in public. Uh, yeah, so it makes me really like grumpy and frustrated. Um, neo pronouns are bullshit. Don't use them. Like, do not use neo pronouns. I do not respect you. If you want to fight me, I don't care. go ahead and just block me because we're not gonna have anything to agree on. Like that's fine that you think I'm being disrespectful, but it's like ableist to insist that I do that. I have a whole system that I follow for the English language to speak to you with, and if you want me to speak to you, you're gonna need to be able to like learn to communicate, or we're not gonna be able to communicate. Yeah, because neopronouns don't have consistent conjugation, and as a person who is dyslexic, it's not respectful to my time to expect me to be able to figure out how your neopronouns are conjugated. So if you want to use neopronouns, that's fine, but if you don't give people an alternative, don't expect them to respect you, because I don't. Just putting it out there. Just being myself on the internet. Yeah, I've been on Twitter too much, and then it's like, God, am I a fascist? Because I really consider myself to be an anti-fascist. But then it seems like pretty much like everything on Twitter is like, no, you're flagging fascism, and it's like, how am I supposed to know I'm flagging fascism if this is only a rule that applies to Twitter and I don't participate in this area? Like, is this actually that I'm flashing fascism, or that you've been so, like, hyper aroused by, like, trolls on the internet to make you see, like, what is that? Is that MacArthurism or McCarthyism? I always get those two confused. But the whole, like, communists in the soup, but it's for fascists, and it's actually actively more harmful because oh, was that last year? Oh, I see, that was that on that date. That makes sense. Oh no, it's okay. Okay, I'm fine. I'm upset that you took that book. I'm very upset that you took that book. I'm upset that you took my books. I'm upset that you took my books. I'm trying to say something else right now, but it's the only thing I can say is that I'm upset that you took my books. The last thing that I want to talk about today, now that I've been speaking for like probably over an hour, is the Cyborg Manifesto by Donna J. Haraway. Oh, it's got a cool fox on the cover. There's some other essays in this book as well. I think you can find a PDF of it online, but if you get a copy of it, real good stuff. So, Cyborg Manifesto, it's like cyborg feminism's epitomal piece. Good. I went last year late for my birthday. I went and read this all night outside, and my mistress drove past me and said a passphrase that I won't tell you what it is. And that makes me feel safe because I'm a crazy person. I need a lot of stimulus, and I need like to essentially be held down by like massive weights, or things happen. Oh yeah, Cyborg Manifesto. It's good. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. I think it's, so I'm more of a cybernetics feminist than a cyborg or cyber feminist. Cyber feminist, thumbs down, boo, your system sucks, I hate you. Cyborg feminism, pretty thumbs up, could use some work. I would love to see other people's takes on this, not just the single one essay on it. But yeah, I consider myself to be a cyborg. I need augmentation to exist. I can't live without the internet. I no longer wear glasses because I don't actually need them. That was for some roles that I was playing. Yeah, I am no longer need the. I've had surgical augmentations. So yeah, I've had surgical augmentations that I desperately needed. And so I would consider myself a cyborg. Yeah. So those were a bunch of the books that I wanted to talk about. I mostly kind of wanted to just like I guess it's I don't feel like anyone has like the same kind of basis as I do, so it's hard to like just be like, oh, here's some books to check. Oh, well, I guess this is actually good because like if these were a bunch of books that I've read and they helped me like shape my mind the way that I think is good thing. That's no, ah, no, sharing things like memes, and I don't just mean internet memes, I mean like memes like ideas, but also internet memes because they are also ideas. But things like books, things like literature, things like other media, like movies, film, television, jokes out loud, personal stories, like these kind of things help us have like better understanding of ourselves and each other. And these were uh put that down. Um, I said I wasn't gonna do that on cam. I oh I did, yeah. Mhm. I don't remember what else I was gonna. Oh, right. It increases empathy to like know more about other people's perspectives and opinions. Like no, it goes like this. You have to learn how to do it more subtly. You're being very obvious. Um, um, I was gonna say, uh, sharing things like stories help increase not only empathy but like awareness of other things like I guess that's also why I get so frustrated is being someone who's like openly non-binary for over 15 years. Um, I exist in public, just like kind of. It's always a thing. It's like I'm more often get carded. I'm more often have people say they don't believe the idea is mine. I'm more often to get like just kind of generally harassed in public, and that is regardless of if I'm wearing a mask or not. It just so yeah, I generally like to stay within the bounds of my house, not just because my mistress breaks into my house and rearranges my library slightly. I thought she took my Japanese to English dictionary, and then I know that she was oh shit laughing that I was being like, you took my Japanese to English dictionary, and it's like, you don't live in Japan, why would you even need that? Maybe try harder. Stop recommending Kali to me because it's not a viable solution. It's not even a viable. I looked at the whole options on Amazon to spin one up to try to like monitor remotely here. Yeah, that's not an option because it still has the same user control issues, and it's like if I can't change the root password and you know what the root password is because you've worked in this industry for years and years and years, it means that I can't defeat you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. I can't defeat you. That means that I have to work with you. I don't actually have a choice in the matter. And